Welcome to the Wall Street Club. Something massive just happened at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. In a single speech, the agency laid out a plan to completely flip its script on crypto, and it could honestly reshape the entire global financial system. So we're going to break down exactly what was said and what it all means.
Okay, before we dive in, just the usual quick disclaimer. This is all for informational purposes. We're simply reporting on what's been said publicly. This is not financial advice, and we're not endorsing any political side here.
All right, so to really get why this huge change is happening right now, we have to understand the problem the U.S. government thinks it's solving.
SEC Chairman Paul Atkins kicked things off by looking back at a really key moment in Wall Street history. And in doing so, he asked a critical question. Is America about to get buried by its own innovation and in the process lose its spot at the top?
He drew this really powerful analogy. See, back in the 1960s, Wall Street had a paperwork crisis. Literally, mountains of physical stock certificates were gumming up the works, slowing trading down, and even causing firms to fail. The solution back then was technology, moving to electronic records. Well, Atkins argues that today we're in a digital paperwork crisis. But this time it's not paper, it's confusing regulations and a regulate by enforcement strategy that's causing a brain drain, pushing all this amazing crypto innovation overseas.
So, in response to this crisis, the administration isn't just making a few small tweaks to the rules. No, they are announcing a complete 180, a dramatic pivot in how they approach digital assets altogether.
And there it is. You can't really get much clearer than that. This is the new national ambition, laid out in a direct quote from the SEC chairman. The goal isn't just to compete in the digital asset space, the goal is to lead it.
And the plan to get there? Well, it has a name, Project Crypto. You can think of it as this huge commission-wide mission with one very clear, very ambitious goal. Get America's financial markets ready to move on-chain.
So what exactly is Project Crypto? How are they planning to pull this off? Well, according to the chairman's speech, the whole thing is built on 4 main pillars of reform.
Let's unpack this blueprint. First up is clarity. They want to end the guessing games and create a clear test for what is or isn't a security. Second is choice. This means protecting your right to hold your own keys, self-custody, which is, a core principle of crypto. Third, efficiency, breaking down the old walls to allow for these powerful, all-in-one financial super apps. And fourth, innovation, basically creating a legal pathway for true DeFi systems to operate in the U.S.
Now this right here, this quote, is a really, really big deal. I mean, for the head of the SEC to say this, it's a complete 180-degree turn from the agency's public stance for years. This is the one statement that makes this whole reform possible.
And that brings us to the third pillar, this vision for super apps. The idea is to let American companies build a one-stop shop for your entire financial life. Imagine trading stocks, buying crypto, making payments, getting a loan, all from one app. It's a model that's been wildly successful in Asia with giants like WeChat and Alipay.
Now, you have to understand, this huge policy shift isn't just coming out of nowhere. It's really a response to a trend that's already happening. Wall Street has been placing massive bets on blockchain technology for a while now.
I mean, a new report from Ripple and CB Insights just dropped, and the numbers are kind of staggering. We're not talking about a little bit of speculative money here. We're talking over $100 billion that global banks have poured into blockchain startups in just the last 4 years. The institutional money is already here.
And just look at who's writing the checks. These aren't fringe players. We're talking the biggest names on the street: Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. They've been quietly making dozens and dozens of strategic bets, literally building the plumbing for a future where everything is tokenized.
And you can see this institutional flood moving the needle in real time. For instance, a joint report from BitGet and Bitcoin.com shows that exchanges geared towards more sophisticated traders are just exploding. BitGet's share of the derivatives market has almost doubled this year alone. That's pushed them into the top 3 globally. That kind of growth signals a huge new wave of serious traders coming into the market.
So, the administration is painting this very rosy picture of a new golden age for American finance. But, as with any major policy change, you've got to ask,
What are the upsides and what are the potential risks?
On the one hand, the promise is huge, right? You could see this incredible explosion of innovation as businesses and capital rush back to the US because there's finally legal clarity. But if you flip the coin, critics are already raising some serious red flags. They're worried about market volatility, that key investor protections might get missed in the rush, and even about political pressure being put on the Federal Reserve.
So really, that's where we are. We're at this historic turning point for digital finance in America. The government is officially rolling out the red carpet for crypto. But will this build the next great American financial empire? Or are we introducing massive risks that we just can't see yet? That is the multi-trillion-dollar question.
Obviously, this story is just getting started, and it's going to be fascinating to watch it unfold. To make sure you don't miss any of our updates, be sure to follow the Wall Street Club official account. And hey, if you found this explainer valuable, do us a favor and hit that like and share button. Thanks for tuning in.